Okay, this is in our news box this morning. President Buhari's anti-corruption program seems to be getting some folks on Broad Street sneezing because the president is breathing fear into everyone in terms of accountability. So it looks like that is the reason behind the fear of shareholders or investors who bought shares in multiple names and accounts years ago from preventing them from coming to undress in public, meaning that the SEC is now saying, don't be afraid of prosecution, step forward. This is the period of amnesty. If years ago you bought shares with multiple names and falsified information, in other words, you bought shares not with your own real name or your own home address or other details, you can step forward and regularize those shares, just claim them, then it will help clear up the market a little bit. That's what the Acting Director General of the SEC, Mary Uduk, set out in a statement released over the weekend. The SEC says the idea is to get the market float to increase significantly and provide more liquidity into the market system. The SEC says this is a major problem, a part of the unclaimed dividends estimated above 100 billion currently in the Nigerian system. The SEC also is asking market shareholders to also embrace the new e-dividend registration, which means you get your dividends electronically credited straight into your bank account, whether that is a checking account or what you call a current account or a savings account. So you can get that done with the e-registration. This has been a program on the street since 2016. 2 years on, the SEC is still asking investors to do more of this. About 2.4 million accounts already have been done, according to the SEC's statement. And of course, we'll talk about the Relaxonomics later towards the end of the program. But this story around the multiple shares account is making the headlines. Let's touch with what's been the year so far with Johnson Chukwu, the CEO at Cowrie Asset Management. Is somewhere down there in Abia State. I'm trying to use my Google map to find out where you are in this world, on this planet. But it looks like a nice place. You are there, downtown, hometown, as it were. Johnson, it's good to have you on the program. Good morning.
Good morning and Merry Christmas, Bosun.
Thank you. We appreciate your time today. While you are away down there, the SEC has issued a statement telling shareholders who did multiple account registration years ago not to fear prosecution, but step forward and regularize those multiple accounts. How beneficial do you think this will be to the market?
Well, it will bring back some stock that have actually been sterilized over a long period of time. You know that what happened in 2008, 2009, from time of 2006, when there was a lot of public offers, and most of those offers, people couldn't get their bids. So people had to resort to use of multiple names. Because those names have not been able to, they can't verify the shares, because you now need the BVN to verify your shares. Most of those shares have been left idle. The dividends have not been able to go to the owners. So you realize that a reasonable percentage of the available flow to the market is not there in the market because the investors cannot dematerialize them and bring them to the market. So that will help bring improved level of activity in the market, because some of them want to sell those shares, but they can't sell because they have not been dematerialized. I think it will have a positive impact on the market. You mentioned a figure like 100 billion naira, which is a huge amount of money in this present country, in this present economy.
Okay. So if I'm sure if we get a quarter of that 100 billion back into the system, folks like yourself will smile. I mean, in terms of you will get part of the trade anyway. Cowrie Asset will get part of the trade like other brokerage firms.
Yes, absolutely. The impact will be that, like I mentioned, we're going to have improved level of activities in the market. You're going to see a lot more people who will be bringing those shares to the market to sell. And it improves market confidence, because the reality is that if you make an investment and you don't have the liquidity to go back and make an investment, and you don't have the confidence to go back to the market. So you're going to see a lot of people, small retail investors, who have their honest, shareholders, that they can't realize
Okay. Let's check with you as far as the 2018 market was concerned. It's been bearish. The global stock markets lost trillions of dollars this year, so emerging and frontier markets like Nigeria was not an exception. But there's been some good bargain hunting this year. What's the experience this year for you on Custom Street? Johnson.
The reality is that anybody who is playing the market must be very smart. The market has been very choppy in the past 1 year. So what you do, you look at those stocks with very strong fundamentals. You're not looking at, if you're playing on the speculative spectrum, you're likely going to lose money because the market, when you say the market has been a bit bearish this year, that's actually an understatement. The market has suffered some of the worst losses after the financial market crisis. Today, the market has lost about 19.5%. If you compare that to 2016, when the economy was in a recession, when the economy contracted by 1.58%, the market only lost 6.17%. So the reality is that the market has suffered so much. It is not a market for speculative investors. It's a market for those who are seeking for fundamentally strong instruments. So you hold the instrument knowing fully well that the market will rebound next year.
Okay. So where did you see good bargain hunting this year despite this very heavy meltdown?
There are still some banking stocks that are very strong. You have the consumer goods stocks that are very strong, but over the past 1 year, they have lost close to 40% of their market capitalization. So these stocks, the likes of Nigerian breweries, the likes of Cadbury, the likes of, if you talk about the banks, if you look at the likes of Zenith Bank, that have very strong fundamentals, the GT banks of this world, there are a number of good stocks that have very good fundamentals, but because of the market trend, they've also suffered severe losses. So my take is that if you take position on those stocks around this time or early next year, you're going to see a rebound on the market capitalization when we come out of the political morass that is actually impeding investors bringing money to the market.
Okay, so you think election is the only cloud hanging over this market, or a major one for 2019?
Yes, I think it is the most critical factor that is bringing down the market, like pushing down the market. And like I mentioned earlier, at a time when the economy contracted, the market only lost 6%. At a time when the economy is growing an average of 1.81%, the market has lost 19.5%. So what could be the factor? It is beyond the issue of the U.S. normalization of interest rates. The reality is that the chunk of our foreign investment is still coming from the U.S. But if you take your mind to the capital inflow, capital inflow into the economy, or capital importation, you realize in the third quarter of this year that only $2.85 billion came into the market, into the economy, against the $5.55 billion that came in the second quarter. What does that tell you? You see the tapering down of foreign capital coming to the market, and most of those capital, about 60 million, come into the equity, into the for portfolio investment. So the reality is that portfolio investors are backing out of investment in the country because of heightened political risk. Once we come out of the election period, I expect the market will recover. The market will be on the positive bend, and Nigerians investors who are discerning should prepare to reap the benefit of any investment at this point in time.
As soon next year, do you think the market will start to see some rebound immediately after the elections, after the swearing in, first half, second half?
Well, I think immediately after the election, if the election goes very smoothly, and the choices of Nigerians are those who they are declared as winners, investors will swoop for Nigerian equities. They are not going to wait for the inauguration of the new government. But if the election becomes contentious and parties to the election do not accept the result of the election, you're not going to see any foreign investor come back to the market. You're not going to see a recovery of the market until after the swearing, and investors can now measure the risk of political crisis. So, but if the election is very smooth, like we had in 2015, where there was the loser conceded victory to the winner immediately before the announcement by the INEC, then you're going to see an immediate rebound on the market.
Okay. Johnson Shoko, thank you very much. But again, before you go, just 1 second. How do you pronounce the name of the town where you are? I know it's somewhere in Abia State, by the way. How do you pronounce that?
It's called Ugweke. Ugweke is in Bend, the local government area of Abia State. That's my country. And you know, as an Igbo man, we all migrate to the east during Christmas period.
Yeah, that's a story for another day. You go folks migrate like the Chinese do at the end of their own year. They migrate in millions. And I think that's a story one day. Maybe we'll find it down there one of these days. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Enjoy your holiday. Johnson Chogo, the CEO at Cowrie Asset Management.